Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Miss Carranza and Mr. Grice's Algebra 2 class. We're going over section 1.3 notes, part 2. We are still reviewing in geometry. Okay, now today our learning target is to review how to use formulas of area, perimeter, and circumference. Okay, now if you need to get these notes right here for all the definitions, go to the notes answer key, which are on the website. We will just be going through the examples today. Okay? Now, example number 1 says find the perimeter and the area of the figure below. Okay? Now, with this rectangle, we know that the opposite sides are congruent. So, when we are finding perimeter, perimeter equals when we add up all of the sides. So we have 2 of the top plus 2 of the side, the length and the width. Okay. 2 times 9.4 is 18.8 plus 10. We get a total of 28.8. And just remember, 28.8 what? We have inches. Oh, let's write that in pen. So inches. So the perimeter equals 28.8 inches. Now the next is the area. Area equals the length times the width. So we have 9.4 times 5. And if you need to do a little work off to the side, since we're doing this without a calculator, 5 times 4 is 20, bring down the 0. 5 times 9 is 45, plus the 2 is 47. And we have one number behind the decimal, so that 0 gets dropped. So our answer is area equals 47, and that's inches squared. All right, let's look at example number 2. It says find the area and the perimeter of the figure below. So let's start with perimeter again. Perimeter, all you have to do is add up all of the sides. So the perimeter equals 28. Nope, not 28, Mr. Grice. I'm doing this in my head too fast. 27 inches. Okay? Now, when we find area of a triangle, area equals 1/2 the base times the height. Our base is 10. And our height, how tall it is the line going straight up. All right, since we're doing this in our heads, first thing I'm going to do is do 1/2 times 10, which gives us 5. And 5 times 7 equals 35 inches squared. All right, let's look at number 3. We've got a circle. And in case you were wondering, on Labor Day, the bells still work at school. All right, example number 3 says to find the circumference and the area. And our note at the bottom is leave pi in your answer. Do not use 3.14. Okay, so the first thing we're going to find is the circumference, which is the area, which is the perimeter pretty much outside, which equals 2 times pi times r. 2 times pi times our radius is 6.5. Now off to the side over here, 6.5 times 2. 5 times 2 is 10. Carry the 1. 12 plus 1. We have one number behind the decimal. So our circumference equals 13 pi, and don't forget our labels, which is meters. All right, on to area. Area equals pi times radius squared. We know our radius is 6.5. So we have to multiply 6.5 times 6.5. 5 times 5 is 25. Carry the 2. 5 times 6 is 30, plus 2 is 32. All right, next line. Start with the 0. 6 times 5 is 30. Carry the 3. 6 times 6 is 36, plus 3 is 39. All right, we got to add all that up. We get 5, 2, 3 plus 9 is 12. Carry the 1. And we need to remember how many numbers are behind the decimal. We have 2. So the area of the circle equals 42.25 pi, we can't forget that, meters squared. All right, let's move on to the back. All right, we are just going, actually we need to do all of these. So it says find the perimeter and the area of the figure below. So first thing we're going to do is find the perimeter. So the perimeter, we need to go all along the outside. So let's fill in some of the other sides that we know. The top over here is 10 inches. And the length on the left over here, that is 5 inches. So when we find the perimeter, we're adding 10 plus 10 plus 5 plus 16 plus 5. Okay. 20 plus, oh, not 30, 26. And I got 26 by adding all of those guys together. So our perimeter equals 46 inches. Okay. Now we need to find the area of this guy. And we have 2 different shapes. We have our triangle, and then we also have the rectangle. Let's make that look a little prettier. Okay, so when we find the area is going to be the triangle plus the rectangle, which is length times width. Okay, so let's fill in the triangle first. We have 1/2 the base times the height. Now we know that the base is, or the height is 6. Well, what is the base? That is actually 16 because it's the bottom of the rectangle. Okay, so 1/2 of 16 is 8. 8 times 6 is 48 inches squared. Okay, now length times width, we're going to have 5 times 16. You can use your multiplication charts for that. And you get 80 inches squared. Add those 2 numbers up. If you need to do work on the side, 48 plus 80. Area equals 128 inches squared. Whew, that wasn't too bad. Now, these are some of the favorite questions that they have on ACT tests. Okay. All right, let's look at number 5. It says find the perimeter and the area of the figure below. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to imagine that this is one huge square. Okay? And that means that my top up here has to be the same as there. So if we have 14 and you minus 6, we are missing 8. So this part would be 8 centimeters, which goes down to right there. Okay? And now the same thing on this side where we have 10 and 10. We know that's 5. So this missing portion right here needs to be 5 centimeters as well. So when we find the perimeter of this shape, the perimeter equals 10. Starting here, 10 plus 6 plus 5 plus 8 plus 5 plus 14. Okay, so I'm just going to bunch these up in some groups. 10 plus 6 plus 5 gives us 21. Over here we have 8 plus 5, which gives us 13, plus 14, which gives us 27. And so our perimeter altogether equals 48 centimeters. Okay, let's erase some of those tick marks. Now, the next thing we have to do is find the area. When we find area, what I like to do is I'm going to break this up into 2 different shapes. So we have our square that's up here, our mini rectangle, and then we have another rectangle. So when we're finding the area, that equals the small rectangle plus the large angle. So length times width plus length times width. So with the green triangle, let's do, or the green triangle, the green rectangle first. 6 times 5 gives us 30. Now the blue one, we get 14 times 5. Using your multiplication charts, that gives us 70. Add them up, we get area equals 100 centimeters squared. All right, the last one. Find the area of the shaded region. So the area of the shaded region is we've got this big square. But inside the square is this triangle. And the triangle's not shaded in. So if we were going to find the area of this, the area would be the big square minus the triangle. And we're talking area. So area would be length times width minus the area of the 1/2 base times the height. So it's a square, so 18 squared, which you know, using your multiplication chart, is 324. And we're going to subtract that from the triangle, which is 1/2 base times the height. 1/2 of 10 is 5 times 13, and then we get 324 minus 65. So off to the side, 324 minus 65. Have to borrow. Turns into a 1, 11. So the area equals 259 feet squared. Okay, that's it for Algebra 2, Section 1.3, Notes Part 2, the review of geometry. If you guys need help, come see Ms. Carranza or myself. All right? Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.